drifting's been an amazing journey for me. I didn't do particularly that well at school, but the one thing I found that I thought I was pretty good at was driving a car when I first passed my driving test. Probably like all of us when we first passed the driving test. Growing up, I'd done a little bit of go-karting, a little bit of motocross, but never really got anywhere with it. So it was so expensive as well at the time. So, it never really went anywhere for me. So fast forward, passed my driving test, went to some car cruises, went to some car meets, saw this going on, and I just fell in love with it. So I went on the internet, I bought the cheapest rear-wheel drive car I could find, which was a Volvo 340, 1.7, had about 100 horsepower max. And yeah, I just welded the diff up, waited for it to rain, overinflated the rear tires, and just started doing donuts and learning how to sort of control the car and do figure of eights, and just finding like quiet roundabouts on industrial estates, and just figuring out like this art of learning to like slide the car and and learning essentially how to drift. Around this sort of time, you could go to places like Santa Pod Raceway in Northampton, and they would have sort of like learn to drift days where you could come along with your car and practice drifting in like a safe environment. And then about a year later, after doing like a load of these days, the British Drift Championship was born. Like the first real competitive British drifting championship was about to start. And I knew I just wanted to be involved with it. But sadly, I knew my little Volvo 340 wasn't going to be up to the job. So I sold it. I bought a Nissan 200SX S13 and just started modifying it. Still road legal, still had full interior, and I was just literally doing little bits. Every time I got paid, I'd buy something for the car, and I headed up to the first round of the British Drift Championship, driving the car to the event with all the tools and tyres in the back. And I ended up doing pretty good. I was in the amateur class. I finished, I think, 6th or 5th overall that event. And again, I knew straight away at that point that I loved it, and this was what I wanted to continue doing. So drifting overall is a judge sport. It's not a checkered flag, start line, finish line type sport. It's a judge sport. So we'll have a driver's briefing in the morning with the judges. They'll determine the line they want to see us drive on. We have things called clipping points. So they'll be predetermined by the judges on the track as to where they want to see the front or the rear of the car. We can be awarded points for how fast we can do it, how much angle we can pull, and how much impact we bring to the track. If we get the judges really excited about our driving style, being really excited, we'll get more points awarded. We'll go through qualifying, so every driver does a solo run of the track twice, and overall then the judges will put us into a bracket. We get a qualifying score, and then the competition really starts in the top 32. So if you qualified 32nd, you'll go against first. And then you'll go from a top 32, you go into a top 16 if you win the battle between the two drivers, and then in top 8, top 4, top 2. When it comes to tandem drifting, you'll do 2 runs to the track. You get the opportunity to lead and chase. You'll do the same track, but you have to get as close to the car in front of you if you're chasing, and if you're in the lead position, you need to get away essentially from the guy that's chasing you. But you need to maintain the speed, the angle, the line, and obviously try and give the judges give them something to get excited about. Judges will award a winner out of the 2 drivers, and they'll progress into the top 16, and the same will happen in the 16 to the 8 to the 4 and then to the final. So yeah, our Nissan Navara-R project was first discussed in November 2019. We went over to SEMA and we saw a bunch of our sponsors and partners there, and we'd kind of come up with this crazy idea that was the Navara-R. So how it started was when we built the GTR, we took the engine, the original engine, which is the VR38, which is the V6 twin turbo Nissan GTR engine, out of the GTR because it's a very complicated but very amazing engine, but we wasn't quite so sure how it would be in a drift car. So we decided to go with a platform we knew, which was the V8 with the turbo. We kept the engine, we kept the gearbox from the GTR. I put it to one side in the workshop, and since 2017 I've been kind of looking at it thinking we should really do something with this, because we've got everything, wiring looms, all the ECUs, all the body control modules, we've got everything you need to start that engine up literally outside of the GTR. So I went and spent a little bit of time in America in 2019, fell in love with trucks, came back to the workshop, and I kind of discussed it with the boys, and we came up with this crazy idea that Nissan had already done it with a Juke and a Qashqai. They'd built the Juke R, which essentially was a bit of a drag/track car, and I thought, how cool would it be to do it with a Navara? You know, build the world's first Navara-R. So, pandemic hit in sort of March time. We closed down for a little bit, and then we were allowed to reopen through government legislation. So we decided, hell, you know, we haven't got that many events to do this year. Let's get busy with this Navara-R project. So I went and bought a Navara, and we got busy fitting the front and rear subframe into it and getting the engine and the gearbox into it. The project's progressed quite a lot since then. We've come up with a custom body kit for it. We've gone hella crazy with suspension, so we've actually put the Nissan GTR suspension into it as well. So it's 4-wheel drive, full Nissan GTR running gear, from all the arms to the suspension to, you know, the brakes. Everything's there, you know, and it's going to be really, really cool. We're really excited to reveal the project probably in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to drive.